I'm Jim, and this is the MEVOTECH Overbuilt video series. Today we're going to focus on MEVOTECH Overbuilt Supreme Enhanced Parts. And to do that, we have to talk with us today, Gordon from the engineering department at MEVOTECH. Gordon, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jim.
Let's start with a real basic question. What does overbuilt really mean?
Well, overbuilt basically means upgrades. And there's a number of different upgrades that we can apply to any particular product that we're developing in the driveline, chassis, or suspension system. We look at it from an application-specific basis, whether it's a control arm, whether it's on the front, whether it's on the rear, whether it's the age of the vehicle, the type of vehicle it is, and the type of use that that vehicle is going to be experiencing during its service life. Based on that, we then look at what particular upgrades or X factors we can apply to that particular product. So in the case of this control arm, we can look at applying our powdered metal or sintered metal bearing technology for improving the durability. We can add the grease fitting so that the technician can service it during the life of the vehicle. We can tie the boot at the top and the bottom to make sure the grease stays in the boot. We actually have the grease relief valve that allows excess grease to flow out, but it doesn't allow contaminants to come in. And we can provide all the hardware necessary for the technician to put that ball joint in. But we don't stop there. We also look at the structure of the control arm. So in the case of this particular arm, we increase the thickness and the depth of the forging to make it stiffer and stronger. And at the other end of the control arm, we have the bushing. In this particular case, the bushing on these control arms was prone to failure because of the type of vehicle and the type of applications that it was being used for. We found that a solid rubber bushing wasn't sufficient to carry the loads and the forces that this bushing was experiencing, so we changed the design to be a spherical or cross-axis bushing that can take a lot more load and take a lot more punishment than the original OE design.
Now, when you say that this is an application-specific process, it suggests that this is not a one-time deal. This is an ongoing analysis of what's going on with real cars on the real road and how to address those problems going forward.
Exactly. We're constantly adding different types of X factors, be it different types of hardware, or even in the cases of some of the tools that we'll add to the box. These two are examples of boot stallers that are tools that we provide the technician in cases where the ball joint boot has to be installed after the ball joint has been either pressed into the control arm or into the knuckle. So the technician doesn't have to run around looking for the right tool to apply the boot. This tool comes in the box, they use it to press the boot on, and they're finished.
Same thing with some of the arms and the pinch bolts that are required.
Correct. This particular control arm, for example, doesn't have a nut, but it uses a pinch bolt. And again, we make sure the technician has a fresh bolt when they're doing the job and putting it in place.
So the Overbuilt program not only provides enhanced parts, as you say, but also labor-saving innovations that make the technician's life easier.
That's right.
And also, in the long term, they provide longer service and better customer care for that technician.
Right. I mean, a lot of the X factors are all about improving the durability of the products.
Right. But again, it's not a one-time deal. It's not a single-step process. So every part has to be looked at a little bit differently.
Yeah. Not every part is overbuilt.
Okay. What about the TTX?
Now, this is definitely a case of overbuilt. This part is overbuilt from the bottom up, from the PowerTech materials that we use for the housing, to the oversized ball studs we use, the type of closure we use to keep the boot in place, the corrosion-resistant coating, and the grade 12 hardware. From top to bottom, this part in this line is completely overbuilt.
Wow. Sounds like an amazing process, and obviously the results are paying off for technicians and customers all around.
Yes.
That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the MEVOTECH Overbuilt video series. And as far as the TTX is concerned, there's a lot more to that story, but you can learn that on another one of the videos in our series. We'll see you later. So long for now.